Hi, I'm Kelly. Imagine this. A doorbell at 2 a.m. No one there. The next night, your neighbor knocks, but with a voice that isn't his. He whispers, "Someone's looking for you." I really ran into something that night. This happened a few years ago during Ghost Month. I live in an old 4-story walk-up, no elevator, in a building where most neighbors know each other. The place is a little damp, but it's convenient, so I stayed. Around 2 a.m., the doorbell rang. Who rings a doorbell that late? My stomach did a flip. I peered through the peephole. Nobody was there. After a few seconds' hesitation, I opened the door anyway. There was a red envelope on the floor. It looked worn and faded, with some strange symbols scrawled on it in red ink I couldn't read. Inside were white rice, a few long black hairs, and a small pile of ash that smelled like something had been burned. Cold ran down my spine. I shoved it into the stairwell corner and slammed the door. The next night, things got weirder. Around midnight, the doorbell rang again. I opened it and saw Leo from the 3rd floor. He's usually talkative and friendly, but that night he had his head down and his voice sounded wrong. Hoarse, not like him.
"Someone's looking for you."
Before I could answer, he turned and walked away. The slap of his sandals on the stairs echoed down the hall. Over the next few days, he showed up like clockwork every couple nights, always at midnight, always saying the same line. "Someone's looking for you." Then he'd leave. Right after he said it, I'd hear a slow drag, drag, drag from deep in the hallway, like footsteps getting closer to my door. But whenever I opened it, there was nothing. One night after work, I saw him in the stairwell corner. He was facing the wall, his face pressed so close it almost touched the plaster, murmuring to himself. I called his name, and he didn't react at all. My heart nearly jumped out of my chest, and I hurried home. Then my apartment started acting up. At night, I could hear rummaging in the kitchen, footsteps pacing in the bedroom. Sometimes, a shadow would flicker past when I checked the mirror. The rocking chair in the living room would sway by itself. From the bathroom came a muffled crying now and then. Worst of all, a few times, I woke up in the middle of the night, feeling the weight of someone sitting at the foot of my bed, pressure on my feet, like I couldn't move. I finally snapped and confronted Leo in daylight. "Have you been coming to my door at night?" He blinked and laughed it off.
What are you talking about? I haven't been anywhere lately. I couldn't have been at your place at midnight.
I went cold. I had seen him at my door, plain as day. But there was one detail I'd been ignoring: the voice. It didn't sound like Leo. After that, I panicked and went to see a friend who knows folk rituals. When I told her everything, she was quiet for a moment, then said,
"That red envelope isn't something random. Someone's done a ritual. They sent it to your place. Rice, hair, and ash are a way to call or bind a soul. The symbols mark it. And Leo, he's just being used as a vessel to pass on the message. The sandals you heard belong to the real owner."
I asked what to do. She told me to clean the place right away, take the envelope to a crossroad, and burn it. Then sprinkle salt around my doorway when I got back, and burn some paper offerings. And she warned me never to open the door at midnight again. I did exactly that. My My hands shook as I walked the envelope out to a quiet intersection away from home and lit it. I hurried back and made a big circle of salt at my door and burned the paper. The noises thinned out after that. The rocking chair stopped moving. The bathroom crying faded. But sometimes, I still feel like someone's watching me from the hall. I don't open the door at night anymore, especially during Ghost Month. I can still hear that cold line in my head. Someone's looking for you. When I was a kid, our TV sat on a dresser by the bedroom door. My family would all sit on the bed to watch at night. And out of the corner of my eye, I kept seeing a dark shape slip by the doorway, moving from the living room toward the kitchen. I kept forgetting that all of us were in the bedroom, and I'd get up to check the kitchen, even squeeze into the little gap between the fridge and the washer to see if someone was hiding. Of course, there was never anyone, and my mom would scold me. Everyone's in the room, you must have imagined it. I live in a 3-story place. Every night after everyone goes to bed, plates in the dining area clatter like someone's taking them down. Once I waited in my doorway. My room looks straight to the kitchen. I heard the noise, opened the door. The sound stopped, but there wasn't a soul by the cabinet. It kept happening. I'm on the 2nd floor, and above me is my sister's room. Every night, we hear the same furniture moving sounds. I used to think she was rearranging before bed, until one summer she came to sleep in my room for the AC, and we both heard the furniture moving at the same time. She said she hadn't been moving anything. Now, the empty room still makes that noise. Our old dog would suddenly bark fiercely at the stairwell, like it was chasing something, then back up a little and keep barking. But there was never anyone there. If this story gave you chills, make sure to subscribe and join me for more haunted tales every week. And tell me in the comments, what would you do if your neighbor knocked at midnight with a voice that wasn't his? Like the story? Want more creepy tales like this? Hit like, subscribe, and share. It really helps the channel grow.